Mic and music check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Atlam. Okay. Oh, I'm getting an echo somewhere. I found it. Can you let me know if you see Steam go live, because I'm not seeing it yet. Otherwise, we're ready to go. Welcome, one and all, to the latest Damn Challenge stream. Today, we're going to be unveiling the winner and showcasing the entries from the Magical Disasters theme that we picked a few weeks back, or a couple weeks back. Hey, Anani, how you doing? Theme is up for you? Okay, cool. Let's see. Atlam, I'll check it in a moment. Oh, of course, my camera's blinked too. Everything is bad today. There we go. Fixed. I think. Is it fixed? Must be fixed. The Steam stream is running. Sounds like a tongue twister. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. I see it. Fantastic. We're live on every platform now then. That is good. Yeah, their platform is RTMP, which is a little bit delayed, unfortunately. There's no, like, low latency options for them that I'm aware of, at least. It's a little delay. How we doing today, Damn fam? I hope you had an amazing week. Welcome back to the Damn Challenge. My name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today's stream is a showcase of the various entries in our magical reality or magical disaster themed. Sorry, I had a follow about 25 minutes ago named Magical Reality. Read that right next to Magical Disaster. Threw me off. But magical disaster themed Damn Challenge. And we're also going to pick a new theme at some point during the Damn Challenge today. So I encourage you all to hang out, check out all the entries, and help us pick a new theme. This is the winning entry, which is from Lalandra, if I'm not mistaken. Magic Gone Awry by Lalandra Blue. I found this map very compelling and fun to explore. And honestly, this map is quite a banger. Let's take a look at it in the top down. And I don't know if y'all are noticing, but there's 13 levels at least to it. So there's quite a bit of depth to this map. So in the top down perspective, let's just start peeling away a layer at a time. So some of this tower is revealed here. Congrats, Lalandra. This one here, this room is quite interesting. And then over here you have like a plank leading into just like a black hole. Because why not? So the theme behind this is a wizard was experimenting with magic and kind of made a cataclysm, but made the most of it. So they're kind of like, it's like their own private little mansion on the edge of a cataclysm. I like this view though, where you can see down and see all the stuff getting just kind of wallowed into the abyss. But as you can see, there's all these little areas, right? Where players could, you know, necessarily be at, but also I feel like there are areas where you could be imprisoned, or because pretty much anyone that survived the cataclysm is now they're like the prisoners and thralls of the wizard, if I'm not mistaken. Sky cells. Yeah, they're prison cells, basically. Where you have nowhere to go but there, right? Cool. I like going through the levels like this. Boop, boop. Oh yeah, sky cells down here. I think my favorite part was the library. Library. So yeah, they're just kind of hanging out right over the openings there. Wizard seems like he's a bit evil. Gonna throw that out there, Lilandra. You spun up an evil wizard. Hey, random ladybird, how are you? And Chim, how are you? I like this little section too. I really appreciate that you went and put like rocks under all of the like the buildings to really kind of make it seem like they were floating islands. Enjoying your new laptop? It arrived. Fantastic. How is it thus far? Is it chewing up DA? I really liked all these little rooms here. There's like a mezzanine looking over the library. And then in the library is another balcony or a mezzanine looking over more books. That's my favorite part here. I like a token in here and just looking over the edge. It's nice. I think it looks really clean. Yeah, the library was my favorite part, I think. Like, don't get me wrong, the entire map's great, but this part really just made me, like, gasp. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And how connected it is. Nice. Did a great job. Anani, your map was quite amazing as well. I was really impressed with it. It's nothing against it not being explorable was anything against it. In fact, I was really torn on picking a winner, but like there were several really good entries. But as you can see, like this map is the map that just keeps giving. I do think one thing I'm looking for kind of going forward in maps, I don't really have a set thing I look for, like, or a set thing guarantees a win, right? What I do, though, expect going forward is a lot of verticality, multi-level, right? Because now multi-level is a big part of Dungeon Alchemist. I would expect to see more in, you know, in like new damn challenge builds. And this one really just took advantage of it. Nice, random ladybird. That's cool. The cellar is a nice little use of space too. I just honestly, I really appreciated how like unique the infrastructure was and how it just seemed like fun to endlessly explore it. I do like seeing how like y'all have been inspired by the new update to just really, you know, make some creative new builds, and this is a great example of it. It's just like, man, there's endless levels in here. It's crazy how much there is. Little areas to explore and check out. Yeah, exploring a map with a token is one of my favorite things to do, especially if it's expansive like this. Got little areas looking out into the vastness of space and over the rest of the compound. Like, it's just cool. It's a fun map. I honestly am so impressed with, like, how out of the box it is. Hey, AJ, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Watchtower. So, my cat was like climbing all over me last night, kept me up like all night. I was a little irritated. Didn't get as much sleep as I had liked. Yeah, there's just like all these little explorable spaces. I like how these are the portals leading to the other rooms. It's like, hey, there you go. That's the portal to that room. Clearly it's immersive, but it's still cool that it exists. Hey, Polaris, thank you for dropping in. How are you doing? How's your day going? Hope you have a good one as well. To quick toggle overlays? What do you mean? Can you elaborate? Sorry. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Oop, got stuck on something. What am I stuck on? You can't keep me. Ow! Okay, I feel like the character got stuck on a box somewhere. You're recruiting a new role player. Cool. Well, good luck with that, my friend. I like this view, though. It's really cool. Hey, at least the imprisoned have a nice view. What was your favorite part of the map, Lilandra? Yeah, it's a little real just seeing off into the vastness of space and knowing at any moment. Darth Lars, that's a really good question. I will say this, Dungeon Alchemist is first and foremost a map making tool, and then it's an immersion utility. So you use it to build maps like this, which we're exploring the map inside of Dungeon Alchemist. So exploring the map inside the map making tool. When you see me in first person or in a cinematic camera, those views cannot be accessed by anyone but the person in Dungeon Alchemist. It's typically a single player experience. That being said, Steam offers like Steam, like where you can share with someone and they can actually jump in and mess around in the map, but they can also move and delete things and change stuff. So it's kind of a catch-22. Additionally, our maps are meant to be like exported where you play in your platform of choice. So you would export for, say, print or TV tabletop, projector tabletop, or even virtual tabletops, such as Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, Above VTT, and many others. So our maps export in a traditional top-down aesthetic. You can build the whole map in a 3D space and access every level inside of Dungeon Alchemist. But when it's exported in a top-down, where each level is its own map. And it's done that way to give you the more traditional battle map or encounter or exploration experience that you come to know in your average tabletop game, D&D, Pathfinder, etc. This particular map, it's quite a treat to explore it in first person or in cinematic because of the 3D. But there really is no support for play. There's nothing that says you couldn't stream this view to your players, right? So they could be watching and see this view as you follow along where they are in like a top-down map. Alternatively, you can record or take screenshots of the various... Whoa, my mouse just died? What happened? Okay, that was weird. You can explore in these various angles and then take screenshots or record and then share that to your players as handouts. I don't think there is a hotkey for the overlay menu at this time, AJ. That's a great suggestion for our upvote. And I'm sure with time, the overlay menu will get many improvements. Yeah, remote play together is the Steam feature I mentioned earlier. I'll be honest with you, I've heard mixed things about it from our community. Mainly because it's a Steam feature, not a thing we developed. And it basically gives them control to access the map and move around in it and delete things, and it's like they're using the map maker. Retro Noggin, it's actually a fun way to give your players a more interactive experience. I mean, a lot of DMs in our community will either stream this or record or take screenshots and give it as handouts. One of my favorite is one of their players has a familiar that they'll often say, hey, I want to fly over, an area and get a lay of the land before we go in, to anywhere. If they can, they will, more often than not. So the DM just made a habit of getting in this like cinematic drone camera. Excuse me 1 second. And then they will fly over and record the map like this, right? And then take that and then give them the clip when they ask for it. And then they have a quick clip that they could play a few times to get an idea of what's going on, like what they're familiar with. See, there's actually quite a few fun ways to interact and use these tools to benefit your storytelling. I'd love to open it up to our community here who uses Dungeon Alchemist as a map maker. How do you use it for other things in your campaign besides map making? Like, what other ways do you use it? See, what you're asking for, Darth Lars, is a completely different product than what Dungeon Alchemist is. You're asking for a virtual tabletop or a virtual play space. So there are tools that do that, but none of them accept our maps in a full 3D because we just don't offer 3D exports. We offer traditional top-down exports, as I explained earlier. There really is no plan for a 3D export of any kind for, other uses, whether it's for online play or for 3D print or game development. Basically, at this time, our primary focus is making the map making tool as versatile and functional as it can be, including as many features that we can pack into it from both our Kickstarter and our request board from our community. And then on top of that, we hope to someday expand beyond that and offer our own virtual tabletop, i.e. a virtual play space that would have better compatibility with Dungeon Alchemist than, your average virtual tabletop or printed map or digital map. Basically, you're asking for us to like completely gut it and add a whole bunch of stuff just for multiplayer play when its intention is to make maps. It's not intended to play a game in it. There's no dice rolling or character sheets. There's no multiplayer or storage for your character's, inventory. It is a map making tool first. So I'm going to say that one last time. And then I understand that it would be amazing to have 3D from it or play multiplayer from it, but it wasn't designed with that intention. So essentially, it would have to be gutted and redesigned from the ground up, which would not be a good thing for our Kickstarter community. I'm sure they wouldn't be happy with us pivoting and making something completely different than what we promised initially. Shorten my token there. There, it can fit. I think this room looks super comfy. So we've got 10 entries today from the Damn Challenge. And so as we've shown off the winning map and explored it quite thoroughly, I think it's time to move on to a new map. Congratulations again, Lalandra. And like I said, we can't all win, but we can all be winners. So let's congratulate Lalandra on their win of the Damn Challenge, the Magical Disasters Damn Challenge. And just want to say thank you so much for sharing this map. It's an absolute treat. I encourage everyone to take a look at it if you get a chance. We're going to take a look at all the entries one at a time. From the Magical Disasters Damn Challenge. So stay tuned as we jump into each map. The next one, I believe, is Mondoos. Like I mentioned earlier, Lars, at some point after we leave early access and have delivered on all our Kickstarter goals and have made Dungeon Alchemist where we want it to be, we may offer like a standalone, like a separate tool where it'd be, complementary to Dungeon Alchemist. Whether it's 3D or not remains to be seen. If anything, it would just be a complementary virtual tabletop that gets the most out of Dungeon Alchemist maps. It's designed to be sort of a play tool. Like the mentions that I've heard of the, after we leave early access and have delivered on all our Kickstarter promises, then yeah, maybe we might make a separate tool. I have no idea what it would entail though, as it's still like years out at this point. We have 4.5 stretch goals left to deliver on before we leave early access. And our average like delivery time on each update is like 4-6 months. I really like this. I was honestly surprised to see a legacy map as an entry, Mondu, but I think you did a great job with this one. First off, it's like, holy cow, it's hard to tell what's going on because of the fog, which gives me that like creepy Silent Hill vibe. But I did read the little primer you had for it, and it's an interesting idea. And not only that, it seems like every adventurer seems like they'll be the lucky one, right? After we leave early access, the devs have made mention that they would like to offer optional expansions that could expand upon, what we offer as currently, which is mostly a fantasy aesthetic, leaning into some early Western and even steampunk is what it currently, can really deal with really well. We also offer an asset importer, which is currently built into Dungeon Alchemist. You can import 3D models that you design yourself using tools like Blender or Tinkercad, etc. And then have custom models of any type of design, sci-fi, modern, whatever you want, cyberpunk. So in the future, optional expansions may lean into things like cyberpunk, sci-fi, modern, things like that. And then we have tools right now that allow you to import custom assets if you don't want to wait. The asset importer is also supported by the Steam Workshop. The Steam Workshop has a repository of over 10,000 assets that have been shared by our community, many of which are sci-fi. There's like at least 500 to 1,000 sci-fi assets, if I'm not mistaken. People are making sci-fi maps already, but they're just making them by hand using the Dungeon Alchemist tool set and assets they located on the workshop or imported themselves. And yes, there is workshop support for maps and assets already. Over 12,000 shared maps and over 10,000 shared assets. I honestly really like the cloud, like fog. It's a really good idea. Looks clean. So we do offer Roll20 support, and there are Fallout maps that have been made and shared on the workshop. It is something that is done. It's a little niche, but it's possible. Apocalypse, Walking Dead, Fallout, etc. Very, very possible within the Dungeon Alchemist tool set because it's such a versatile tool. A lot of people build maps 100% by hand using Dungeon Alchemist as their preferred tool to do everything. And they'll just use whatever assets they can make custom or grab from the workshop, or just use the basic tool set or asset set that's available, because many of them are very versatile into other, you know, aesthetics, especially things like trees and fences and the like. But you see here we have a Steam Workshop tab. There's maps, assets, and the asset importer. I actually like looking for like sci-fi maps once in a while, or in your case, you wanted like a Fallout map, right? You can search Fallout. And here's Fallout Vault 111, Fallout Street Battle Map, Fallout Ruins Home, Fallout Vault Corridor. And it's actually going to be much easier to make Fallout maps now that we have multi-level and roofing. A lot of it was done by hand before, but yeah, there's plenty of Fallout maps. And if you download one or two of them, you'll start getting all the assets that were in them too. Because when you download a map from the workshop, it prompts you to download the assets that are part of it. So you can essentially download a pack of assets all at once and then start using them for your own builds. I believe there's even a few more just labeled like Vault. You can import just the image to a basic account, but if you want all the data that's associated with our maps, i.e. lighting, walls, windows, doors, etc., line of sight, you do need a plus account with Roll20 or higher. Plus or higher, I mean, Plus Pro, because they require you to use a module or plugin to access that data. So we made a plugin that complements our maps on Roll20. However, other tools like Foundry, Fantasy Grounds that are one-time purchase that don't have a monthly fee, they don't require any extra things like that. So, and there are free virtual tabletops, like Above VTT is a free virtual tabletop that we offer support with our exports for. So lots of ways to get around that. Anyway, this vault right here is nuts. Hey, Simone, how you doing? Welcome back. It's been a long time. Watchtower's map was really cool, actually. I really liked... I love me a Ziggurat. He knows the way to my heart. He was close to the win. There was just some really good competition this time. It's very cool, Mandu. How long did you work on this for, my friend? Ziggurat's cribbing. You know me all too well. Nice. It's a beautiful map. I really like it, and I love like the story behind it. How there was like you said there was like parts of moon crystals just crashed here and destroyed the whole city, kind of froze it in time. So there's like a magical aesthetic, like fruits and vegetables are still fresh, and there's loot to be found from adventurers who died and the people who, you know, were instantly killed by this atrocity. The Stargate weakness. Oh my goodness, you guys and gals are hilarious. No, I really don't have any like things that okay, you got to understand people have tried to bribe me with their maps before. I really go in unbiased. I don't judge maps until all the entries are in and the time's up. Like I don't even look at one map until they're all present and I can judge them one after another. So I don't build up any bias, you know, early to one map or another. And what I'm looking for more often is something that surprises me. I'm looking for things that may stand out, and it doesn't necessarily have to be out of the box thinking, but I'm often looking for things that just make me smile and surprise me, make me laugh, you know, and that's what my reaction to the map is usually my compass, my gauge, if you will. So the more, you know, like I don't know, the more I feel like a little kid when I'm exploring the map, the more I like it. What we got here? Oh, hi. You want to say hi? You smell so good. How was your bath? Hmm? There's a surprise in the floating outhouse. I feel like I don't want to know what it is. Like, should I look for it or no? Is it a floating surprise in the floating outhouse? Oh, Zemore, you got so many fans. Got so many fans. His full name is Seymour Butts. There is a Seymour model in the workshop. Search Seymour. Okay. Come on. Oh, an Easter egg, quite literally. Look at you. The chocolate egg. So it could be grosser, I guess we could say. All right, we need to move on to the next map. Hardy har har, Mondu. You got me. Honestly, if I want to feature every map before we wrap up, I do need to keep it to about 10 minutes per map or less. Good to know. Good to know. By the way, for everyone watching on different platforms, we are multi-streaming right now to like 6 different platforms. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Steam, etc. So if you have questions, feel free to pipe in up in chat, and we'll answer your questions in the order they were received. And if you are just like wondering what you're looking at, feel free to let me know, and I'd be glad to answer. Otherwise, welcome to the stream, and I hope everything's coming through clearly on every platform, audio and video at the moment. Honestly, Anani, I love this map. I found it very, very interesting. It was kind of mind-bending. Honestly, when I first opened it, I was like, wait, is this an image or is it 3D? Oh, no, it's both. It's 3D and an image. You got like this whole space underneath with, you know, teeth-riddled tentacles, which it is visual trickery. It messed with me a bit. It's pretty. It's really pretty. Not gonna lie, it looks really good. And then the dragon like mountain chain here with the little temple on top. Yeah, me too. Honestly, like this whole area was stunning. The dragon. Yeah, it was a great use of abstracts. I thought it was very impressive. Little sky dock here with the airships. I was gonna ask you, what's this over? Oh, there's your cat. Never mind, I get it now. It's an altar to your cat. Or to a void, because you have a void, right? Look, you can see like wings cast across the desert. Yeah, I see this, like the whole little glass dome on the back. Here. Let me out. It is really pretty. Anani did a great job. It was definitely a heavy contender. Let's get rid of that. We'll go. I think my favorite part was this little area right here with the dragon, like the dead dragon mountain. Little structure on it. Oh, you can walk over the portal without falling? Nice. I might sneeze. Stand by. Ooh. Thank you. Man. That hurt my throat from sneezing so hard. I like this airship too. Looks cool. Yeah, Sack uses it a lot in his builds because he puts his like artwork on it. There's like a watermark. So it's always nice seeing it in builds. It makes me happy. Great use of that jet engine too, to give that like a, looks like it's, you know, got some kind of arcane engine going on. Scaled up bracelet. What is this? A zip tie? It's cool. Right? Right, Jim? You need something like the Talk Arch. I'm not sure what that is. I gotta Google it, I guess. Porch Arch? Kind of a combination of workshop and stock assets. Like this is from the workshop, but the rest is all stock assets. All those are just normal assets right there. I think it's just fun when people get creative like this and make custom ones. You know what I mean? At the moment, though, Retro Noggin, there's just a limited ship set in here. If you type ship, there's a handful of boats and ships. Or if you type boat, I think is more. There's a handful of rowboats, and people will scale those up and turn them into boats. There's hundreds of examples on the workshop of boat-themed maps. But between the assets on the workshop and the custom build kind of bit stuff, it's quite easy to build out a ship. There's some that are like multiple levels of a ship, all on a single map, so you can kind of see each level of decking. Yeah, it really is one of the best traditions of object misuse is when people make boats. There will be an update at some point that addresses boat building. I think Fun with Objects Part 2 will have kind of the first iteration of the boat builder, and then it'll get better and more enhanced with time. We added a feature in the last update called modular objects. So there's a bunch of objects that can link together now. There was always a few before, right? Here. But now there's more, and eventually there'll be even more. But what these objects allow you to do is you can link them together. If you see an object with a linkage on it, right? You could have another one nearby, press link, and link, and then they'll link together. There's things that do this that are like magical beams of energy. There's pipes that use the, there's ropes, there's chains, etc. The modular object tool will be expanded to kind of build ships as well. And that is what I'm most excited for in the future. At least not, you know, it's not available now, but it should be available at least, hopefully at least an iteration of it in the next part of Fun with Objects. So Fun with Objects Part 2, our next update. You can still make a spider web if you want, but I saw this boat right here, and then the one with the sarcophagus. Is there more than those two boats? The portal's a trip. Okay, so it's an abstract, it's several images, it's a bunch of images, essentially, okay? So you have a ring around the top, and then these little kind of cool little tendrils of like electricity, right? The hole is just a cylindrical hole, and then down here, I'm not sure how you got the sand over everything. That's a trip. That's the part I'm confused about. But down here is like just curved abstracts and tons of abstracts layered on top of each other. But that's a circular abstract back there. It's just tons of abstract images. Yeah, it looks like there's a circular room behind it. The only way to really figure it out is to break it apart. I don't know how you got the sand over the top. That's confusing, though, for sure. I'm assuming it's a level below, so you buried the part of the roofing or something with it. So it's just low enough below that you were able to take advantage of that? Yeah, that makes sense. Very cool, though. Did not see the hidden bones in here. Got a raptor right there. Yeah, it goes way down, but you started it at -1, and that's how you were able to cover the top, right? With like the edge of sand. But either way, the abstract covers it, so it kind of is just like whatever. It looks great, though. Really great work. Lovely build, Inani. Definitely meow meow. Oh. While we're waiting for this next map to load, has anyone been checking out? Yeah, I read it in your post. Anyway, Anani, I saw what you were throwing down. That's why I was, you know, kind of matching the energy. But yeah, this one's great as well. Very meow meow beans. Hold on. Oh, Abacus. Steam-powered Abacus, right? This one, I believe. Hey, by the way, quick question for those in chat that might like other games besides, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and the like. Have any of you been checking out the Battlefield 6 beta? Far more than 20 feet. A 20-foot radius would be 40 feet across, right? So, if you read the description of the map, small town caught in the aftermath of a giant fireball gone astray. So it's a fireball that's larger than normal. Yet again, I remind you, it's a giant fireball, so it's just larger than normal. I like how the home, though, is like still partially intact and partially burning. Just falling apart. Looks great. Oh, really, Badu? Oh, that'd be cool. Right, Anani? That is definitely an Ignis. It's a big Ignis. A bigness is what it is. Bigness! I accidentally unalived the village. Honestly, this is really creative way to have breaks in the floor. They just did breaks in the room. So that's like a small room sliver, a small room, small room. Is Abacus here right now? Steam powered Abacus present? Bummer. I like the map though, and it looks like it was just cast, so the aftermath of it is just happening right now. Food stores are gonna get caught on fire. Like all the wine. Why will the rum be gone? Looks like the Smith got the least of it, probably one of the best ones to weather it. They usually have water and deal with heat frequently, so probably can, you know, have tools to move hot fire on things on fire. The magic oh, what do we got here? The baker, the butcher, yeah, the butcher. Oh no, this might be, I don't know, like two different things. Oh, is that his private residence in the back? Yeah, it looks like it. Never mind. So the butcher and private residence. Instant rare beef. Golem could probably wake up and help him, right? The magic shop, man, once this goes up in flames, it could be even worse. It is pretty fire, right, Yuna? Man. Like either the place has some flame proofing, right? Or they have tools and equipment on hand to deal with fire much more readily than most other places. Because they deal with it all the time in their space. This is fine, right? It's a great map, though. Really well done. It's a creative build. I like it a lot. Onward! This one's Chim's map. Surprised none of you are playing Battlefield 6. Just goes to show how diverse, like, and different the communities are. They're like just so different cloths. Like, most tabletop gamers probably don't play shooters. There is some that dip their toes in both pools, but not as many. Or at least Battlefield, to say the least. Still busy with Expedition 33? Is it treating you good? I absolutely loved the rabbits. I mean, I read books. I play tabletop games. Tomorrow I'm playing D&D. That being said, I occasionally like me a video game, but I haven't played a game in a long time. Like, pretty much just ignore them lately. But my friends started hitting me up for Battlefield 6 beta, and I was like, hey, let's try it out. Really enjoyed it so far. Yeah, I really enjoyed this rabbit. So that's part of the reason I featured it in the Chronicles. The Cartomancer Chronicles, our weekly newsletter here. I love to highlight interesting assets and maps. Also, we'll highlight upcoming events like today's stream, tips and tricks to kind of help you save time in your builds, and speed up your, and make your work more efficient. And then when we have contests like the Dam Challenge map winner will be featured in here on Monday. Every Monday I put out a new Cartomancer Chronicles, pretty much rain or shine. I've done it non-stop for the last 3 years with the exception of 2 weeks. I think our next theme needs to be towers. That's what I was going to say, by the way. That's my kind of suggestion for a theme. We've got multi-level. Yeah, I was going to say this is Watership Down Revenge. The Revengening. We've got multi-level. I think it'd be fun to do towers as a build for our next theme. We've got roofing, we've got multi-level. It'd be fun to see what kind of cool towers people could build. Tricky towers. Does it have to be an alliteration? Watchtower. We got Stan Lee over here. Can't do anything without alliterating it. What do you mean, Anani? Why are you acting like that? What? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh my gosh. I just really want y'all to challenge yourself to make the best multi-level structure or tower you can make. I do think towers is encompassing, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a traditional castle tower, right? Oh, yeah, I remember. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to like rub it in, rub salt in the wound. I honestly just, I mean, you could still reuse it if it's done now. If you haven't used it in another challenge, you can reuse it. I love these rabbits. They look terrifying, but also just so innocent. Like they've already torn through the garden and are going crazy with it. They'll probably eat it up really quickly. And I would not want to go out and be like, hey, can you guys leave? Because, geez, they look terrifyingly huge. Like, I feel like rabbits are like opportunistic eaters. They probably, if you were small enough to them, they'd probably want to eat you. But I wasn't judging it for the damn challenge at the time, so it's not like, yeah. Anyway, look at what we got here, a little secret way to show it. This is a great example of a multi-level. Hiding something under a rug or whatever. Little underground laboratory. Oh, look at the rabbits digging in. Love it. The great use of the underground space as well. Attack of the Killer Rabbits, right? Jim, how long did it take you to make this map? I do appreciate you wanting to make a new map entirely, by the way, Anani, so thank you. I would have let you enter the old one if you wanted to, though, because you were kind of, it was bugged out and you weren't able to enter, so I would have given you the benefit. I love the burrow, actually. It looks great. Yeah. Fantastic. I think that's a different rabbit. Took longer to make the rabbits. Oh. Tricky towers, tower power. What are we gonna name the next theme? I'll let y'all decide it. I think towers is a good idea though for the next theme, because I love using the new features that are available and allowing y'all to experiment with them and learn them, right? I think a lot of us are, we're kind of learning fresh. Like, we have experience with Dungeon Alchemist prior to the latest update, but all these new features, you got to kind of relearn building, and there's a new workflow to it. So these challenges offering, or at least trying to suggestively push you towards using the features might help you get more familiar with them. Towers? We could just do towers. Ugh. So this map is from Geronimo, and it looks, if I understand correctly, some like massive creatures had a battle here, and it scarred the earth almost permanently. I do like leaving them more open-ended, at least with themes, usually 1 to 2 words, and not super focused on anything too much. Allows you as creators to have a more open-ended creative experience. Looks like instant ramen for fire giants. I don't know what kind of ramen you're eating, but TikTok, thank you for all the likes. Much appreciated. You're learning how to use Meshi? Oh, good luck. Good luck, Jim. I've used it in the past to help decimate models, make them smaller. So they went from several hundred megabytes to like 20. But it definitely is a tool that takes a lot of getting used to. Or you mean Meshi AI? Actually, I'm thinking of a different tool entirely. I'm thinking of Meshtastic. No, not Meshtastic. What is it? Mesh Mixer, I think is what it was. Oof. So we've been having a big outbreak of mosquitoes here in Vegas, and they just eat me alive. They ignore my son and my wife and eat me. They like see me as like top quality blood, I guess. I don't know what it is. But anyway, anywhere my skin gets exposed, and if I work out in the yard or in the garage, is like a target. And once in a while, they'll get in the house too and eat me alive during when I'm like sleeping or whatever. But I'll get them like on my legs and arms and stuff. But the mosquitoes this year are so tiny, you barely even see them half the time. When you do see them, you're like, wait, is that a mosquito? We've caught a few of them and had to look at them just to double check. But we think there's someone in our neighborhood nearby who like isn't maintaining their pool, and the pool might be like a breeding ground for tons of mosquitoes because there are just so many more this year than normal. Don't normally have to deal with ticks here in like Nevada. There are ticks occasionally, but not nearly as many as some other places. I think I've seen like one tick in Vegas in all the time I've been here. Yeah, the map is like really, really creepy. I don't know what to think about it. It makes me unsettled, if that's a like a term that I could use without being offensive to him. Like this particular biome, when you use this like terrain, it always makes me uneasy. And I think that's the point, right? It's not, you're not supposed to be comfortable here. It is definitely like a hellscape. If that makes sense. They also find you to bite you based on your breath. Okay. What does that mean? That's interesting. I've never heard that. Yeah, they don't normally thrive here, but when they lay eggs and then they dry up, the eggs will just sit there for years until there's more moisture, like rain, that accumulates over, say, several weeks and makes it kind of swampy. But no, the Vegas Valley was actually composed of wetlands in some areas, and that's kind of near the area I live. They sense carbon dioxide? Interesting. Very cool. All right. How many maps we got left? How much time? Got at least 4 more. And 54 minutes. Okay, we can make this work. This next one is from Swamp Gas. And it is a small little city that had a mishap, if you will. It would appear that a necromancer, aspiring necromancer, had a bit of a mishap. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? Honestly, I just feel like they're going for the places that are exposed, right? Like they go above my sock line, right at like my calf, or above my sock line at my ankle, depending on the socks I'm wearing. Yes, I wear long and ankle socks. I was kind of born in the middle. But I also get eaten alive on like my elbows and arms. Sometimes they'll get me on like my neck. So I've been using off like crazy when I go outside and like work in the yard, or I plan to go anywhere. I use off first. It stinks though, because like, well, first off, the off stinks. I don't like the smell of it. And also it makes you feel all like slimy. And then after I get home, I can't like sit on anything or, you know, because it's like all over me. So I have to go shower. It's obnoxious. It's like a whole process. If I was out camping for a week, it wouldn't be a big deal. But since I'm at home, I don't want it like on my office chair or on my computer equipment or in my bed, or, you know what I mean? On my clothes. So, just use garlic. Got a little underground area. Let's start here. It looks like some basements. Looks like where the mishap started. It even blew over into the neighbor's basement. So allegedly, the necromancer who lived in this home here was trying to summon himself a little familiar. And instead of summoning what is like the familiars that like a warlock can summon, an imp or something, he was trying to summon an imp, and instead of summoning an imp, he summoned a demon, and the demon burnt down the house and started causing havoc in the neighborhood. One thing I use to get rid of mosquitoes and bugs is Irish Spring. Yeah, the footsteps are great. The burnt footsteps in the ground. Joseph, how's your week been? Honestly, yeah, my grandpa swore by Irish Spring, my dad swore by it, and I always keep a few bars of it around. I used it in my like teens until I have to start using like face wash, you know, because Irish Spring wasn't like a catch-all for everything. I started using like, you know, whatever. But yeah, in my late adult life, you know, as I've grown older, I still use it here and there. Like that's my primary soap usually in the shower or whatever. But like Irish Spring, if you just grate a bit of it off with a cheese grater, you can take that and like kind of just rub it in your hands and on your arms and stuff, and they hate the smell of it. They'll stay away for some reason. Yeah, he accidentally summoned a demon when he was trying to summon a he summoned a demon instead of an imp. Right? A Balor makes sense, but it's crazy that it didn't do more damage before it left. Yeah, they did a great job adding like all the random wood and detritus and stuff. This home has just a bit of damage. This home has just a bit of damage, but this one in the middle, really destroyed. Like we have a lot of different detritus and burnt wood and broken items now, so it's like easy to make a bit of rubble. Like this explosion looks really, really real. Like it looks really well designed and set up. Oh, there used to be a roof here. And a second floor. Holy cow. And it's a great idea for like a quick pickup quest. Like, hey, the group has to go chase down this demon and capture it before it causes more chaos. Or, you know, take it out. Very good magical disaster. Row of con. Right? They look like the burbs here. This is like some nice homes. The road looks really nice too. Look at the streets. Swamp has really gotten really good at making streets. Fire Tarrasque. Oh my goodness. But isn't this like it's a great little scene. I think they did a great job. It just looks like such a serene, beautiful little neighborhood, and then boom! It looks like a meth lab blew up, you know. And then it's like Walter White's house blew up. The silly ass necromancer around the corner. Yeah, I do like it. It's a good pick with this particular like crosshatch style of walls with that overhang. Looks really good. It kind of reminds me of like German architecture a little bit. Oh, the log in the wood. I didn't see that. Or in the water. That's cool. So our DM like introduces chaos randomly through like cursed items, and there's a chaos table that has like 10,000 wild magic things on it. He's like, if you guys are interested, we could use this. And I was like, oh goodness. I think the game has plenty of ways to like make my character like useless and debilitated already. Let's not add more. The smoking log like is perfect though. Yeah, that looks good. It just looks like a nice, yeah, like everything just is blown to smithereens. It looked like a really nice neighborhood. Honestly, I don't mind a huge wild magic table, and it's fine for the people in our group who want to. But my character in particular, I'm really fond of them, and I just don't like the idea of kneecapping them with like a silly dice roll. Like, it's already bad enough sometimes. So. This pub, by the way, was beautiful. I wanted to show this before we left. Great use of the fun like pots that you can change the food in, the different things. So we got like some goulash or stew. Just a wonderful, bright, fun pub. Man, these, I want those. All of the barrel whatever. He's using the customizable disc, but I want the images that he's using because these look great. Abstracts. So, were you watching his stream, Blue? Did he stream this one? This build? I would definitely watch it for sure because yeah, these shapes are interesting. It seems like it was all shaped as one solid piece before it was generated, which gives you a lot more freedom. Next update, we can save them as assets. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that'll be included in the update. I haven't seen any like functional demos of it, so as of right now, there's nothing to indicate that it will be, but you know, that doesn't mean it won't be. I don't know if it'll apply to abstracts. That's a good question. I would imagine it'd apply to most any object, though. Yeah. That would be an ideal use for them, you know, combining the two. Hey, here's a barrel of potatoes. Hey, here's a barrel of this. Here's a barrel of that. Save tons of time, you know, and it's just saved together and you download it and you're good to go. I really like those, though. Great. Yeah, Joseph, you've already got the hook ready to go for your campaign for this map, huh? Okay, let's open up the next map, shall we? This was the winning map, Lilandra, so we're going to go on to Bart's. Swamp. Oh, well, hey, we were just looking at your map, dude. You did great. I loved it. What looks weird, Icebreaker? Swamp, dude, I want these images from you. These are great. Oh, I didn't notice the D&D table. Funny. Oh, that's all you did? I thought you had images to set sizes. No biggie. Banks and bosses. That's funny. I know a person who in their campaign, their players play a game within the campaign, and I think it's called Banks and Bosses. So they play D&D, but within D&D, their characters play Banks and Bosses. I just think they look great, and that's a really clever use of abstracts. Like, we need this on barrels. You know how we have these, like, stews and the chowders and stuff and whatever? Goulashes. It'd be cool if the barrels did that, too, with a bunch of different things. Potatoes, grain, corn, apples. I mean, in a top-down, when it's exported, it looks fine. I'm not going to get overly weird about it. The green beans look a little large. They look like giant green beans. Pickles? Yeah, they're pickles. I'm going to suggest that, actually. Like, this food thing needs to be an option for barrels, so we can do a bunch of different, you know, grain, potatoes, any of the veggies we have, so maybe some other stuff. Like this, but in there. Asparagus. Have y'all seen asparagus just like growing like normally? It looks like a kid planted the plant and was like, hey, this is how this plant grows. Asparagus looks so fake when it's growing. Honestly, I was enthralled with the explosion. I think you did a great job really like selling this damage and all the chaos around it. The footsteps, the little cinder burning wood that's kind of, you know, smoking in the water. Lots of little details. Honestly, dude, this road is very good, and I would hope like you maybe would even put together a video of how you do your roads, your methodology, because you're really tapped into something here too. This looks plenty good. I like how it exploded a lot into this home in the basement particularly. Anyway, you did a great job, my friend. Fantastic work. I'm glad you got to see. Yeah, we looked below. We saw the basement. How it like blew over into the basement over. You honestly were tuning in right as we were about to switch to another map. Yeah, I'm glad you caught it too. Oh yeah, let me update the theme. I'm not even tired. I just yawn a lot. That's the thing. I'm like really not that sleepy. My cat woke me up a couple of times, but it's nothing like I can't deal with. Oh, this is great. Unfortunately, no. It's a good map, but unfortunately it's not for the next damn challenge. They did a great job on this one, though. It's a great tower for sure. I like the aviary up here. Little griffin dock or whatever you want it to be. It just keeps going down. The wizard may or may not have summoned a flesh behemoth into the foundations of this tower. I don't know, Watchtower. Offhand, I haven't seen anything like that. May want to drop a request on our upvoty, our request board and roadmap. If there's one already there, upvote it, comment on it. Yeah, there are some options on the workshop as well. It can kind of work well. I do understand why you want to wrap a tower, and getting one specifically set to wrap around a certain size tower is tricky. Atlam, can you share the upvoting link in Twitch? I really like this whole little escape option here. It's cool. With a little tunnel option, like escape route. Essentially get out the side of the tower. Or sneak in. Dun dun dun. The great round build. You say what? I can see a wall-mounted asset that acts like windows that have the curve to the wall. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's a dynamic staircase that wraps around the outside, for sure. Be neat. Hope someday they can figure it out. Don't know what I did, but I like hurt my hand. I have a bruise under my palm. It hurts like really bad. I think I jammed it when I was like cleaning up the garage the other day. At the time, I didn't think I did that much to hurt it, but now it like hurts just to hold a mouse. Feels like a stabbing pain. I'll survive, I promise. This is a really cool map. It's really too bad that this came after or before we did the tower challenge. Still, it's cool nonetheless. So I do everything 100%, you know? I don't do anything 20% or 10%. My wife says this gets me hurt a lot. I'll bump my head into things because I'm just like moving at my normal pace through an area at my normal frame without any regard to the things around me. We were cleaning our like we had this really, really old boat that's like from the 90s, right? And we were cleaning it out. And she was like wiping the sides, and I was inside pulling out like trash because it was essentially like just a big trash can, a trailer that we just stored stuff in while we moved. And we hadn't used the boat in years, and so we're just cleaning it out. And above the boat is like a rack hanging in our garage that has like all these like shelves and stuff, and it's got like screws hanging out of it, like bolts. And I kept hitting my head on it over and over and over again. And she's like, will you please pay attention? And I'm like, I'm just super focused on cleaning the floor, like, and looking around down here that I'm not looking up here. But yeah, I hit my head on things all the time. And I also, I'll like run into things. I stub my toe and like, or hit my knee on something all the time. I just, you know, when you weigh like 200 plus pounds, it's not really easy to just maneuver around everything. So I just kind of go my normal, like normal, bump into stuff a lot, I guess. I honestly, though, I have learned to be much more careful and nimble in the last couple of years, but I still managed to like stub my finger, jam my hand into things, and like I don't know. I just I put in 100% is my excuse for that. Like when we're working in the yard, I go 100%. I am like sweating and red at the end, and I probably am bleeding somewhere and bumped my arm on something and kicked a rock with my toe. My wife, if she's watching, is probably laughing at me at the moment. I'm more like the NPC that crashes through every object and destroys it in the process. You took a screenshot of what? Goodness, what did you take a screenshot of? Oh, you're okay. You know, there's like a thing you can pull up that does that. The character map. If you type character map in your search bar on Windows, it'll pull up a little tool, and you could see all the fonts and the weird characters and how to get the codes for it, like that Alt 0153. Yep. Character map. It's a tool that's been in Windows since like Windows 95. Here. That's what it looks like. But you can say, pick a different font or Webdings or whatever. Then you find the symbol you want, select it, copy it. It'll give you the code. You get the idea, though, right? Me and my friends and I used to mess around on those, and then we'd send each other weird stuff over MSN Messenger back in the day, or AOL, because we'd use that as like a fun way to just communicate with each other. Before there was like emojis and memes and GIFs, like all there was text communication. So you get creative with the tools you had. Sometimes you would make the text look weird with like AS, you know, CII art, like the shrug guy or whatever, or you would get creative with the character map. And then emojis hit, like, man, I feel so old now. I remember being like 12 when emojis like dropped on AOL and MSN Messenger. Icebreaker, I feel that too. It's hard sometimes. I am a big guy. I've got a big frame and everything's designed around like a certain size. Like I don't really fit in like chairs at theaters and in the car, and in my car I barely fit in my car. Like I'm going to hit my arms and head on things regardless. I'm like the tallest person in my family by a wide margin. I need a Range Rover. Oh, man. So I drive a Kia Optima, a little sedan. It's pretty practical, and it doesn't bother me at all. So technically, Basil, all stairs are up and down stairs now. So once you've done the floor below, you make the floor below, put a stair there, and it'll connect to the floor above automatically. When you place a stair in a room, it dynamically cuts a hole in the room above. So once you go downward and you've made a new room and you've carved it out, add the stair, and then it should work in the room above. Maxter truck. Currently, they cannot, Watchtower. But there's been a lot of feedback and concern from our community about this change. I was concerned about the change before the update launched, and I kind of tried to throw my weight behind getting it changed, and it didn't, unfortunately. But the devs are aware of your concerns and your feelings about how this has kind of compromised some of your build's quality. I think they're going to probably offer what would be like a depreciated stairs section or a freestanding stairs section. Currently, though, the majority of our dev team is out on vacation. They launched this update after a year of insanely consistent and hard work. And then they stayed in the office for 2 weeks after the update to push out patches and hot fixes. And then, they've kind of been scattering their vacations. So I do feel like they definitely deserve some time off. Well-deserved time off. And then when they get back, I'm hoping they'll try and address the stairs. Mondu made a upvoting about the stairs changes, and many people have been upvoting it and leaving comments below. I think the more voices and votes on that we have, the better. Mondu, if you want to send that link to me over DM on Discord, I can hurry and put it in chat to share. It's not so much hope and upvote. The devs are aware of your concern, and they don't really like people being upset with the state of DA, but it's not so much something they can easily fix in a moment, like a flip of a switch. It's going to take some changes. So I think they need the whole team available to work on it. You know what I mean? Once the whole team's back, then we can address it. Here's a link to that upvote where you can upvote the suggestion. I can't share the link on TikTok, I'm afraid, but I did share it on our Twitch. But like I said, I threw my weight behind it before it updated. I was testing it, and I found this issue with the stairs, and I wasn't happy with it. And I brought it to our lead dev, and he said, well, what do you want me to do about it? There's not much we could do. We're a week before launch. So I wish I had noticed it was so restrictive, months before, but I did not realize that at first. Mainly because there were so many other aspects of DA I was experimenting with and learning and filming and writing for that I just didn't notice that issue. So between that, I said, I feel this will be a community issue, and it's already started to be. Many people in the community have started complaining about it, brought up their thoughts and feelings about it. And to that same, thought, that same vein of thought, I feel the more pressure there is applied, the more likely they will be to make a change. They love to react to community feedback whenever possible, and they don't want Dungeon Alchemist to feel like a headache or a pain for you to use, especially for the users in our community who do work by hand almost exclusively. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I try to direct people there, and I encourage you all, if you want the change, you know, if you're in our Discord or on our streams or on our social media, you see someone talking about it, direct them to this upvote. So the more upvotes and comments we can get on it, the better. They do pay attention to community feedback. Just simply put, I mean, things like stairs, multi-level, and roofing, like the way it is now, was based on community feedback. So I think if, you know, there's enough complaints or concerns, they will make adjustments. They've already been asking for mod and my feedback behind the scenes, and I think they're just kind of waiting for, you know, the team to get back and to address it. Before we move on to the next map, yeah, this is an item. It's like it's not a room, it's an object, I believe, or like a window. They're like their own thing. This. So it's like a little add-on. Yeah, it's named after you, Watchtower. Alrighty. Blue Mage, this map was quite impressive, actually. But it can attach to regular buildings or round towers. It doesn't just have to be attached to this. 1 second. Stretching really quick. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it could be like one of those little medieval toilets that just drops down. You just put a little loo in there and call it a day. Remake Winchester House? I don't know if I've seen that one. Why don't you try making it, Bridge? So this map is called The Arrival. And it looks like some sort of eldritch horror escaped from beneath the ground or teleported here or landed here. It says The Arrival, and this could be a meteorite or asteroid or something, you know. Anyway. It is a large map with multiple levels and a lot of effects, so I definitely would add a little bit of a warning if you decide to open this. Like Krang meets Eldritch Horror. It seems like this thing can just inhale souls from places. Mage, can you explain this? Is it like pulling the souls from the building? Like it's inhaling them? Releasing necrotic fumes from here? Or does it seem like it's is it releasing from this building? Gotcha. How you doing, Bane? I mean, like the original, like at least the Hollywood zombie lore, the original Hollywood zombie lore was it came from space, right? From like a comet, the infection. Hey, Island Lass, how are you? You recommend letting it cook with more fireballs and lightning first? Thank you for the tip. I will make sure to cook whatever this eldritch horror is before eating it. Y'all are too much. Y'all are too much. Hey, Toastic, how you doing, man? Just saw you popped in. Oh! But isn't the original Night of the Living Dead from a comet, right? The George Romero film, right? Oh, the tower was really cool. Oh my. Well, hopefully you don't overdo it too much. Please send pictures of the horses later if they do anything fun. Would love to see it on the Discord. I just like this mashup of all these different things to make this beast. It's terrifying. Yeah, the thing about effects, one thing you may even want to consider, Mage, is doing one map with and one without. It really does bog it down. And right now, there is a bug with Dungeon Alchemist with the settings not running optimized. Like, even if I... Like, even putting it on low, I guess it's a little bit better, but it's still, like, chugging. This is just... And it's not to say don't use effects, but maybe minimal or have two versions of the map, one with, one without. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not mad. I deal. I'm fine with this. Like, I'm not upset at all. This isn't a problem. I like how you just put like the whole castle area up on a foundation. It's a great way to raise it up and have like the staircase entry area. Huh, I wonder what happened here. That looks buggy. That's definitely nothing you did wrong. Okay, no worries, Island Lass. I just find your horses absolutely adorable. So they definitely brighten up my mood when I see you sharing pictures of them. But I understand if you can't today. Let's see here. Yeah, and then they've got something to fight for, right? Blue May, right, Bane? Yeah, you've got the cave biome, which is a great way to create natural looking caves. You can generate entire cave systems in a few clicks with this. You can even start it with solid rock, and then it's just a solid piece of stone that you can use the cave carving tools, which are traditionally located here. There'll be cave carving tools below this, not just raising the cave area, but carving it, which allows you to, carve them custom, or you can generate the map and have it generate with a variety of different cave structures. Labyrinths, traditional caves, ravines, tunnels, etc. These cave systems generate rather naturally and look really good. When you're looking at it, one thing I always make sure is if you want it to be a natural cave with no lights, make sure you set it to no lights. Otherwise, there will be torches all throughout it. Like someone had put them in there, installed them at some point because they were exploring it or living there or doing something. Did you try shrinking down the pipes a little bit? Uh-oh. Yeah, if the pipes were too large underground, I would have just tried shrinking them down and seeing if they still were a problem. This looks so cool down here because you could just see the extent of the crater. I think you did a great job. So this is a wonderful map. I found it very creative and interesting. It does make my computer crawl a little bit, but I wouldn't judge you on that. So don't worry about it. An abstract light option where? Last map. I know Watchtower's been waiting for his to get showcased. Oh. That would be interesting, actually. I know you've been waiting, though, very patiently. So thank you. So not only was this a very impressive ziggurat from the external. Let's get the full view here. By the way, if you're loading up DA and it feels sluggish when you load up a map, there's a known bug right now. The devs are going to fix it when they get back from vacation. It's a very simple bug to fix on your own. So if you just go to settings and then exit out of settings, Dungeon Alchemist seems to just boost in frame rate. There seems to be some kind of weird setting that's enabling at a higher graphics or quality than it should be until you open settings and close it again. So you can notice a significant boost on any map you open, whether it's the first map or the 100th time you've opened it, if you just go to settings and then exit settings. But yeah, this Ziggurat, not only is it impressive from its external, but it's navigable inside, which up to this point, until this update, we haven't had many instances of, navigable Ziggurats. No pressure, Retro Noggin. Watchtower, you better bring your A game next damn challenge. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Just randomize them so it's not in order. Ooh. Why can't I select the token? Okay. So I saw the news that Brennan is going to be hosting the next Critical Role season or whatever. That might be enough to get me to watch Critical Role live. Because I actually really enjoy Brennan as a DM. He just seems a lot more wholesome and like, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't, his content seems far less scripted, and I'm not necessarily not a fan of Mercer. I feel like, I guess I joined the community at a late point where from what I feel, from what I've seen compared to previous years' production, like the production level's higher, but the story seems super scripted and not like as like free flowing. Like I understand there has to be kind of a narrative to follow, but I think, yeah, I watched Vox Machina. That's how I got a good idea of the earlier like stuff. Obviously it's abridged and missing some arcs and stuff, but yeah. The ceilings are automatically applied based on I believe, what the room above it was at first. If you change the floor, it changes the ceiling. So you might have had like wood in one of these rooms up above here somewhere. Nothing against, like, I think Mercer's a talented voiceover artist. I think he's a great actor. I feel like I enjoyed the earlier content much more when I've watched it now than I do the new stuff. So I'm hoping they allow Brennan to use his creativity and his own style when he hosts, and it isn't necessarily a railroaded story. Cowboy Bebop's good. But he's also like so encouraging of the players to just do whatever too. Go up, then left. What am I looking for? Ah. I feel like I saw the vine door earlier and I couldn't get through it. Oh no. You didn't nearly TPK your party, the dice did. The interior is really cool, my friend. I like it a lot. It's a neat little exploratory area, and I think players could get really lost in it and have fun exploring it for a good amount of time. Zzz, 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 zzz. Got shocked a bunch. I'm dead. Very cool. Wish me luck tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow is D&D. Very excited. Been waiting a month since the last session, and then we have a session every other week for the next 6 weeks, which is very rare because we normally only play once a month. Owlbears had 3 attacks, 2 out of 3 regularly hit a PC, and often 3. Oh no. I love me a good ziggurat, a good, you know. And I think our friend Watchtower did a great job. Also, welcome back to, you know, the community and the Damn Challenge. I'm glad to have you back. You and Simone both. Yeah, they love the Bastion. We got to explore the Bastion last month in our last session. So we basically traveled over like a sea travel session where we traveled 4 months at sea and had an encounter or 2 at sea. And then we got to our new city that we were going to, met up with our contact, and then we went to our new home that was built there for us. It was like a reward for us, helping a somewhat shady character in another city kind of stomp out all their competition with our help. We did nothing wrong. It is crazy how the dice can just really take a party that is really strong and well prepared and just mince them up in a few rounds, right? So our next session, we are going to, we have to find a contact in this kind of dangerous area. I don't understand the area. It seems like kind of a slummy, kind of underground area. And we have to find this dude there who has an item we need to procure to help us move on to the next part of our quest. So, you know, MacGuffin, whatever. So we basically have to travel and do that. So there'll probably be a traveling encounter and then a couple encounters leading up to finding this guy if we can find him in one session. But we have to get to like a... I think you just need to change the floor in the room above or below. Honestly, I've never experimented with it enough to know how to change it. But I do know if you change the floor, either of the one above or right below, it changes it. It also could be the room type. Anyway. So we essentially are going from our very nice, happy bastion where it's nice and comfy and warm, and we're leaving that comfort to go to some danger areas to find information and equipment or whatever before we basically took out this boss in the session before last, and he had like a note on him that was like a cryptic ciphered message that I deciphered, and it tells of he essentially bought a key. That's what we're gonna go get, a key to get into a kind of treasure vault that is very dangerous. So it's like a dungeon crawl essentially. So we got to go to this dangerous area, find this contact, get the key, and then go do the dungeon crawl. It's a good balance. The thing is we have a couple players who are kind of new and not used to RP, right, Anani? And we have a few players who have played a lot and love RP, so we balance it. Like our last session had a good amount of RP because we had an NPC character that was our captain that we talked to and learned a lot about him. And we were hanging out with him for 4 months in game time. And then we met a Minotaur who we had some RP with, and I arm wrestled him and lost horribly, even though I used all my luck die. And yeah, like every bit of luck I had, including my portents and everything, I still lost. Anyway, but it was just for fun. You know, we were like at a tavern, just enjoying ourselves, drinking, eating, hanging out with his new contact. And then later on, we bumped into a contact who we had met before in the previous city who was on business there, transporting like a prisoner for a mission of her own. And we saw her and hung out with her. And two of our players who are heavy into RP'd with her for like 25 minutes. So like RP definitely happens in our campaign a lot. I just don't dwell on talking about it because unless it's my own RP or it's like something significant for the story. We do have a good amount of combat, but I think it's just balanced. It really depends on the session and like where we're at. I do think that people in our party who aren't used to RP are starting to RP more. So that's good too. Like they're coming out of their shells a little bit and getting used to it. This is my favorite part, I think. This room with all the pillars. Got a good vibe. I don't know why I like it so much. So Monday, if any of y'all tune in, I'll let you know how my session goes tomorrow and what kind of shenanigans we got into. Yeah, it does have that menacing red, huh? I just like the design, the layout, the pillars. You really did a good job, dude. Really, seriously. There's not many there's quite a few ziggurats on the workshop, but not many that are fully navigable interior, you know? So I'm hoping we'll get more of this now that we have the multi-level update. Very excited for the future of you know, builds. But thank you so much, Watchtower, for sharing this impressive ziggurat, man. Top-notch quality. All right, everyone, I gotta wrap up the stream, unfortunately. It's now about 10 past the hour, so it's time to wrap up the stream. And before we do, though, it's a quick reminder. Our next 2 streams are Monday with Mapmaker Monday. That is at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. UTC. That'll run for roughly 2.5 hours. I am working on a massive ancient cemetery. I have been for some time now. I only get about a half hour a week because during the stream, we host the stream AMA format, which means ask me anything. You can tune in on Mapmaker Monday, ask questions about the build or share feedback and suggestions towards it, or you can get live support from Professor Mac. So you tune in and ask questions related to your map making, exports, anything you might be having issues with Dungeon Alchemist. That's what I'm there for. And I'll show you in real time on the stream. It's like you're taking a class or a course and getting taught in real time from someone, which I find is very valuable, especially with a tool like Dungeon Alchemist that is easy to use but has a lot to grow into. So if you want to get into the minutia and all the advanced building stuff with DA, it's a great stream to tune into. We're working on this section right here, which we've kind of called the sardine can. It's going to be tons and tons of graves packed in. And this map is, it is not something to, to ignore. It's definitely a massive map with tons of detail, tons of intricate, beautiful detail. I'm very proud of this build so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes when it's finished. But if you want to tune in and get your support inquiries dealt with, as well as ask questions and just vibe with other like-minded map makers and GMs, tune in on Monday for Map Maker Monday. Wednesday, we have a stream in our Discord. That's Discord exclusive. Map Maker Monday is a multi-stream like today. Wednesday is a Discord exclusive. That is 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. UTC. That runs for about 2.5 hours, and it's, like I said, in our Discord. We hang out there, showcase maps from the workshop, answer questions related to... Uh-oh. It crashed. Answer questions, provide feedback, or take notes on your feedback and suggestions and share it with the devs. Anyway, it's a more laid-back stream. We often get distracted and talk about, nerdy stuff like Stargate or video games or anything that we happen to be interested in at the time. We also discuss people's encounter ideas, homebrew ideas, map ideas, because we're a bunch of like-minded GMs and map makers at the end of the day. So it's a good place to bounce ideas off of everyone and see if they're a good plan for your game. When you make a map, it turns it when you save it. That means at some point during your build, you turned and started, or you changed your orientation and built that way. Unfortunately, there's no way to rotate a map after the fact, sort of like in a photo editor. And you can do that, but the problem is if you're dependent on the exports for like wall and window and door data, lighting, stuff like that, when you rotate the map, none of that info matches up anymore. So it's just an image when you rotate it. So Lizzie, unfortunately, you gotta, when you start a new map, pay attention to the orientation. Make sure when you're building, you don't accidentally rotate and start building at another angle, because it's really easy to do that and forget that you're not in the angle you started in. So whatever the orientation is when you start a map, that's the top of the map. So think of the top of the map as north, right side is east, bottom is south, left side is west. Pretty much that's always how it's going to be when you start a map. Even if you rotate it later, that it knows that the top is always going to be the top. So when you start a new map, it's always oriented with this being where the top will be when you export this portion. But if for some reason during your build you rotate it or turn around, then it'll be oriented differently on export. So it's very crucial, at least right now while you're building, to try and keep track of that. Something you can do to help yourself is like put something that is up, pointing up, so you know where up is always. And if you get mixed up or turned around, you know where it is. You can lay like an object down that kind of looks like a point or an arrow or something pointing in the right direction, or even an image, a graphic, something like that. I think using like an abstract like this, something like one of these up in the corner, and you could put like an image of an arrow that's pointed up or towards this direction, and so this is like always the up area. Or a rock, or anything could really work. Heck, you could just leave this here and now this is up, right? Can't really leave the map with the where you can insert a on. Won't let me do anything now. Okay. That was buggy as all. I've seen people put these outside of the map. Oh, I remember how they did it. It was in the overlay. If you grab something like this too, you can insert like an image outside of the map like this. So just put like, this is up, right? And it's pretty much always present. So like a label. Maybe labels don't always show. Looks like they don't. Okay, so that one will not work. Has to be a trace overlay. You could insert an image that's like an arrow or something that just says this is up, and then it'll always kind of visually remind you. But there's a few ways around it. An object's probably the easiest way. Just something up at the top of the map, kind of giving you an indicator that that's the top. Rulers, pointers. Find something on the workshop that might work for you. Sorry, though, unfortunately, with that map, there's no way around it. Unless you plan to just print the map, then you can rotate it in like an image editor and just print it. But if you plan to use it in like a virtual tabletop, like Foundry or Roll20, then you're not going to want to rotate it after the fact. Anyway, there's probably a bunch of items that could work really easily, or even a stock one that you can just put at the top of your map as soon as you load it. That way you know. Have I seen the new doors in Foundry? No, I haven't. What did they change? Oh, wait, do they have like a red marker on them or something when they're locked now or something? Is that the new thing they did? Anyway, everyone, we're going to wrap up the stream. I'm going to answer that question. The new doors in Foundry that open and close, they're basically animated. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Didn't know that. I'll have to check it out next chance I get. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, you guys and gals, have a wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out with me today for the Damn Challenge stream. Congrats again, Lalandra, on your win. I will reach out to you sometime before Monday afternoon with your prize, a $10 Hero Forge gift card. And I will be posting information about Lalandra being the winner, as well as information about the next Damn Challenge, including the due date, sometime between now and Monday afternoon in the Damn Challenge channel in our Discord. So please wait to post anything until after that. Start working on your design, thinking it out, sketching it. Start working on it now, and then when we have announced the winner and the next theme, you can put it in the Damn Challenge channel after the fact. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so damn much. We'll see you next time I give a damn, okay? Mac out. We're gonna run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and we're gonna end the stream. Bye.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you later. Mac out. Bye.